How many of these beginner artist mistakes are you making? Let me know in the comments where you're at. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Xabio Arts video. These are actual drawings from real artists who asked for their art to be critiqued. If you would like your artwork to be critiqued, or shown here as an example, post it with the hashtag RoastMeXabioArts. Let's jump into mistake number 1. Scratchy lines. Just like playing video games, it's not enough to just know how to beat the game. You can watch all the playthrough you want, but you won't beat the game unless you physically grab the controller and get your hands used to pushing the right buttons at the right time. Smooth, confident lines takes time, and it takes failure. If you're willing to mess up, you will get it eventually, and it will show in your art. Confident lines say a lot about your skill as an artist, which feeds perfectly into the next mistake. Drawing with your wrist. Drawing with your shoulders is something I heard early on from a lot of different people on the internet, but I didn't really understand what it meant until later. Once you get used to drawing with these new muscles, it'll help with shaky lines and your line quality will shoot way up. Drawing too hard. I struggle with this problem. I have this death grip on my pencil, like it's gonna run away from me, which actually kind of makes sense because I lose all my pencils and then I find them in random places months later. But yeah, people make fun of me in my comments for squeezing the life out of my pencils, and rightfully so. It is such a bad habit of mine, but I get around this by switching to an overhand grip, especially for the initial construction lines. It feels weird the first time you do it, but it gives you so much control. It's actually a really cool way to make art. Plus it just looks cool. You feel like a professional. You can also use darker pencils and pens to train your muscles to draw lighter. After a few days of drawing in pen instead of pencil, it helped me control my lines better because not being able to erase forced me to think about how I was drawing because, well, there's no going back once you put down a line. It's like playing on hardcore mode. No extra lives, so you can't be as reckless with your gameplay. Light pillow shading. This one actually gets better on its own with time, but knowing that it's an issue early on will help you fix it faster. Lack of confidence leads to not being brave enough to plop on those shadows boldly, and you end up making super light shadows and then blending them out so much that they're barely visible by the end. To practice, I recommend drawing in black and white solid shapes without blending at all. Like a comic book, basically. And yes, I know it's uncomfortable, I know it. But that's because it's forcing you to get out of your comfort zone and commit to where the shadows are being placed. Don't know where the shadows should be? Bingo! There's your actual problem. That's when it's time to go back to basics and learn how to render basic 3D shapes. Oh no, please don't make me do this. Just listen. If you can light a sphere, cylinder, and cube at any angle, in any lighting scenario, you can literally light anything. Please, please don't underestimate how powerful practice with basic shapes can be. It's not baby stuff. It's literally essential for a reason. Mwah, mamma mia, what is in the pizzeria? It's not enough contrast, that's what's not there. Shout out to Mark Crilly for teaching me this one. It is impossible to get dark values with pencils. Even 8B pencils don't deliver what you need. So just use a black colored pencil to draw the darkest parts of the drawing. Easy. I used to think that the brand of colored pencil mattered, but it doesn't really. Crayola is like 95% as effective as Prismacolor when it comes to this. Putting too many effects and filters on the drawing once you post it on the internet. This is a big one. The number one thing by far is just good lighting. If you're having trouble with lights, you can take a picture outside or by a window for bright light. And you can also change the image to black and white if it's just a pencil or pen drawing. That'll get rid of any discoloration from indoor lighting as well. Oh my gosh, I just checked the clock. I'm sorry, I'll be right back. I have to go pay my insurance bill. This episode of Xabio Arts is sponsored by my lovely supporters on Patreon and Skillshare. Skillshare offers thousands of educational classes for creative and curious people on topics like illustration, design, music production, photography, video, freelancing, and more, with hands-on projects and feedback from a community of millions. I watched a class by Vashti Harrison called Illustrating in Procreate, Drawing a Shareable Time-Lapse. It takes you through the whole process of creating a beautiful illustration, start to finish. Most classes are under 60 minutes with short lessons to fit any schedule, no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. You can squeeze a lot out of that free trial, you can cancel anytime, and if you decide to keep learning with Skillshare, it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. Link in the description to try it out yourself. It's worth a try. Okay, another mistake I see from way too many people is thinking that there are any concrete rules when it comes to art. People click on videos like, "Don't you ever do this very specific thing that nobody has ever talked about before I made a YouTube video on it." and they think like it's some secret rule that all professional artists are hiding from the public. There's no secret. I mean, there are some concrete fundamentals to drawing, like the science and math part of it, how light works, how our eyes perceive color, stuff like that. But that's just one part of the puzzle. Art is about knowing the rules and then breaking them in fun new ways. Some artists don't even have to study all the rules because, well, their subconscious knows it already just from observation, right? Some people just have an inherent talent for art. There are no actual rules when it comes to art, and therefore, there are no actual mistakes. We are all on different parts of the journey of creating art, so if someone bullies you for not knowing these tips, know that that is a reflection on them. It takes great weakness to put someone down who's in the learning process. And if you're like one of those people who will click on that video like, "Don't you ever do this," or "You have to do this specific thing," if you need permission to make art, well, you have it now. I hereby give you permission to make the kind of art that truly makes you happy. Even if nobody else gets it, no matter what anybody says, it is good and you should keep going. I would be very sad if you let someone stop you from doing what you love just because they're insecure and frustrated with their own abilities. So, how many of those beginner art mistakes were you making? Do you have the courage to write it in the comments for everyone to see? If you got anything from this video and want to return the favor, you can leave me a like or comment as a gift. That actually helps me out a lot, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Or subscribe. Jeez, that's a big one. I couldn't possibly. Okay, fine, I'll take it. And also, of course, if you're struggling with something, let me know. I'm here to help. I have a lot of love for you all. I'll see you in the next video. Later, skater. Mwah!